Uh, Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This is the Driver's Seat Podcast. I'm Derby Dallas, and my guest today is none other than Jeremy Tiny Lossie. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, no problem.
To start off, Tiny, same as I do everybody, where are you from?
Originally here, Perryton, Texas. Moved away in '97 to Shattuck, Oklahoma. Went to junior high school there, and then been all over the country working. Then I moved back to Perryton about 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah? Well, what got you started into Derby?
Uh, Actually, Jeremy Rowland. Um, grew up here, so we always went to the celebration and the Derby. Watching it growing up, and never when I moved away, we didn't do that stuff over there, and I was just into sports and having fun, and just one day, I got older. I came back to celebration to visit my dad, and of course the Derby was going on, and of course kind of reunited with
Yeah.
that group, and just I was recently divorced and stuff, so I was single working, and said, "Hey, I got the funds. Let's go have some fun and build a car."
So you kind of grew up with the Rollins and all those guys, huh?
Yeah, we're all the same age.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I've known them, their families my whole life, and so yeah, I mean, that's how I've known them.
Uh, do you remember your first Derby that you watched? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I was probably like 7 or 8. I just remember my uncle Jody. He would always go around and paint the cars. Back then it was paint schemes were real cool.
yeah.
And I'll never forget, he did like a Looney Tune uh, paint scheme on this guy's car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think his name was Rusty, or no, it was Richard. His name was Richard. And I remember he had like the Tasmanian Devil, Daffy Duck, and I mean it was really cool.
That,
That's why I remember that Derby, and it was just cool.
yeah, I kind of know what you mean. 'Cause I was growing up and I was always the paint jobs were still, man. They were a lot of time you could tell were put into most of them. And then my mom started showing me pictures of my grandpa, and they used to. It seemed like they probably took a week and a half to paint the car, just painting.
Oh yeah, I remember actually where your grandparents lived on the corner there on I think it was Colgate.
Yeah,
I lived one block over, and I remember coming down there because your aunt Rachel, and
yeah,
that she's only 2 years older than me, so I remember going down the street and going in the back garage where your
yeah,
grandpa was and seeing his car. Yeah, I remember he had that big American flag car.
yeah. That's.
That. I mean, I was pretty young then, but I still remember that stuff.
I didn't know that you also hung out with like my grandpa and my
Oh
aunt.
yeah, yeah. Our whole family kind of the Lossies. I mean, we all hung out with all them guys because they all back in the club days.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I know Grandma Pam and all them.
That's pretty cool, man. I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah, small world.
Do you remember what the first car you built was?
Yeah, it was a '77 New Yorker. The Roland Jeremy, he helped me build it. Him and his brother, some of them guys over from Spearman, they were all running together, and
Yeah.
I was working off in Central Oklahoma, so I'd get to come town for a weekend. I'd help, but I mean, mostly those guys did a lot of the first prep work on that, and
Yeah.
I mostly all I did was just get fitted for the seat and paint. I helped
Hey.
paint. I didn't really. I'm not very. I was at the time. I wasn't very mechanically. I didn't know how to weld. I didn't know how to run a cutting torch.
Yeah.
I mean, I was green as green could get.
Greener than goose shit.
That basically, yeah.
So Derby's kind of taught you a lot then, because I mean, you obviously can weld now. You can run a cutting torch. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, Derby's taught you some life lessons that you
Oh
can.
yeah, it definitely that, and YouTube.
Yeah. Man, if YouTube would send out degrees, that would be awesome.
I'm telling you, I learned a lot from it, and just going. When I first started, I was out there with them guys in Spearman, helping them, or basically they was helping me, and just staying around watching and learning, and then I got involved with some other guys here around town, and they helped me, and one guy here locally taught me how to weld, tried to teach
Yeah.
me how to stick weld, and I'm not going to do that. I'll just hire somebody to do that for me.
That's
So,
why you got a wire feed over
yeah,
there.
that's right. Yeah,
So you said your first car was a '77 New Yorker, right?
yeah, it was.
What were you feeling, man? It's your
Oh,
first Derby.
Well, I was nervous. I mean, I was dry mouth. One thing that just it kind of what I always sticks out in my mind on where the shifter was. We had the tunnel cut out there a little bit where the shifter would mount to the back of the transmission, and the main thing I remember is once I got on it, for the first time, looking down at that hole and seeing all the sand and the dirt come up through the car.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking ahead. I was looking down at the floor like, this is real.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was intense. I mean, I made a couple of hits. Transmission, I've had bad luck with transmission there for a long time. Reverse went out on me, and then went forward a couple of times. Then I got hung up on somebody, and
Yeah.
that was my first show here at Perryton. That was 8 years ago.
Really? So
Yeah.
you've been doing it for 8 years?
Yeah. I think this is the 8th year. So this summer will be 8 years. So yeah, 8 years. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. You've kind of done things a lot quicker than a lot of people do. Like, I'm in my 4th year, and I still haven't barely left the Texas Panhandle to go derby anywhere.
I'm super competitive, so
Yeah.
I'm very self-driven. So like I want to. Yeah, I mean, I love doing the local stuff for sure, but I want to branch out and I want to go against some of the best. If I want to, if I want to try to be one of the best, I got to go against the best. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've built some Vics in the past, yeah.
Well, I was part of one. Some guys I was running with here locally. They were building a Vic, and then some things happened. I happened to get lucky and purchase it. And it was at the time it was pretty much built. I mean that was a car where I learned how to wire weld
Yeah.
on. Just some small things, just kind of learning as you're watching. So I was able to get into a Vic. It was my first mod. I say my first. I had another one, but that one really didn't count as a mod car. It was way underbuilt. But that one was a full-blown mod, and I got to run it quite a bit. I say probably 5 shows.
What year was it?
Man, let's see. That was 5. See, I've been married 5 years, so 6 years ago.
Really?
I ran it my first year when I first met my wife, and then actually our first real date was at Turkey Bash in Amarillo.
Really?
She came and watched me run, and I was in that. Yeah, I ran that car in that show.
That's awesome. Did you impress her? Did you win anything or?
Well, she married me. I don't think I impressed her, but I don't know. Fumes must have got to her.
Must have, man. We'll come back to Turkey Bash and stuff here in a little bit, but you mainly run old irons and stuff now, right?
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been doing a lot for. I mean, pretty much ever since I got in. I mean, first one I've only ran one new style, and ever since then, old irons are a hot commodity, and
Yeah.
where I'm able to work and be at very frequently, I'm able to find them, and I've kind of developed my shop here and my inventory, and yeah, it's pretty much all I focus on. try to tweak what I can on these old irons.
Well, I think you're one of the first guys that I've had on the podcast that are actually building old irons and stuff, because Gerardo, he's a Vic guy. Roland's a Vic guy. Colby's like me. He doesn't quite know what he likes to build yet. For the people at home, can you explain what an old iron is? Because they've heard us talk about Vics, and they've heard us kind of talk about old irons, but...
Well, what people consider old irons is anything 76 or older. I mean, because you get to the metric. Once you get to 77 and up, it's a metric. Everybody considers that a new iron, because just start dealing with metric stuff, and so that's to me a true old iron that I like is from 71 to 76. But there's guys that run relic classes. They'll get into the 50s.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff you see that like up in the northeast, and
Yeah.
they do some in classic shows. I see someone, I think it's in Minnesota, going to do a muscle car show.
Really?
Which
Those
they
are
ought to be shunned for that, but
those are the kind of shows that people think that we do. They're like, oh, y'all just go out and wreck those old nice cars.
oh no, I refuse to. I mean, I have some nice cars out here that I won't derby.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging on to them, just letting them collect value.
Well, what makes an old iron better than a Vic, in your opinion? Because we've gotten these Vic guys' opinions on why Vics are better, but
Well, I mean, I think it's all in just how you build it. It's not so much that they're heavier cars, frames are beefier. For me, I mean, the bodies are heavier. I'm starting for me personally, I feel like I'm starting to really figure them out. So I'm starting to know exactly, you know, how to drive them, where they bend, how to keep them from bending in certain areas. And so I'm just, over time, I mean, I'm just learning what I do and trying to better at what I do. And
Always learning.
always, every time I get into one, I learn something different.
Yeah. That's how we keep. That's how we have cars now the way they are. Like in Blizzard Bash, those guys' mod cars are unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, they're way more than I would even think about doing sometimes. Look at them, I'm amazed.
well, we'll come back to that later too,
Okay.
cause I got a whole bunch of questions for you, cause like I said, man, you've been all over the Midwest and stuff derbying. So,
Yeah,
Um,
it's fun.
what do you look for in these old irons when you go out and find them, or you see them on Facebook being sold, and you go look at them? What are you looking for?
The main thing that I look for anymore is just the frames. Make sure all your core support, your body mounts are not all rusted out. With the way that we're able to build our cages anymore, I'm not too worried about the body. You know, if the floors are rusted, you know, we can patch.
Yeah.
If I don't want them too far gone, but you know, that's the main thing. I'm looking at the framework on it, because you know, we replace all the bumpers, so I don't use none of that. I don't use none of the bracketry. I replace all that, do my own cutouts, and so I mean that's the main thing I look for in an old iron.
It's just the frame and
Framework,
a little
rust, see
bit of
how bad the
rust.
rust is, and the body. I'm not too worried about the body because we can do quite a bit, and
Yeah.
like I said, 71 to 76 is what I look for, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter as long as it's GM. That's what I'm going for.
Where do you find these things? Because I've seen old cars rotting out in pastures. I've seen people have them for sale in their driveway.
Man, it's just drive up on them most time, or get on Google Earth and look.
So you're just stalking people's fields and
Sometimes,
stuff.
well, I mean, I do that, and then you know, I've built quite a relationship and network with other people that travel a lot, and
Yeah.
I know what areas I'm looking for cars in that are going to be, to me, less affected by rust. So, you know, people look out. I mean, they'll call me or tell me where something is, and with my job, I'm always traveling.
Yeah.
I'm always traveling. You know, a little farther south into Texas, and out west, and so it's a little drier climate, and Derby's just not big in that area,
Yeah.
or at all.
Well, I was talking to Nathan Evans from down there in Abilene,
Right.
or in that area,
Yep.
and he was saying that there's old irons all over the place down there. Probably shouldn't say that.
I mean, it's Texas, man. It's the biggest state out there, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's California. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, you just got to look for them, and I've found hundreds of them that you know you go and ask on, and you know they're good Derby cars, but people are like, nah, I'm not gonna sell them.
Yeah.
And I mean, just go on to the next one.
Or you just keep wearing that person down.
You could. I've done that too. I mean, I just picked up a car recently. I had been talking to a guy for about 3 years,
Oh shoot.
and then finally he just let go of it. So
What was your most recent build?
most recent build would have been like fresh build would have been Oakley for last year, Oakley, Kansas, 2020. It was a 72 Buick, deuce and a quarter, 2-door. Took it up there for a two-day show, and had fun. I mean, just had a good time with some buddies, and we had to hold the camper up there, stayed out, and
You ended up taking Mad Dog in that show, didn't you?
yeah, I did. The second, well, the first, it was a 2-day show. First day I got hit pretty funky, and I got 45'd, and it was my fault. I had the battery cable or wires was too tight, and
Yeah.
when it tweaked it, I just rocked the battery a little bit, pulled the wire out, and then I didn't have enough wire to get her going again. So I was kind of in my first night pretty quick, but second night was pretty fun. I got her on.
It's crazy how small little things like that can make things inside the car go wrong. Because, like you said, you had too tight a wire on there, and then as soon as the body shifted just a little bit, it popped
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah, it's always something like that's another thing. You know, I learned that. I've never had that issue before, and then here I am 7-8 years into it, and that's the first time it's ever happened. And trust me, a lesson learned. So
I posted a GoPro video of me in the Derby, and everybody kept asking me because I have my battery up on my dash bar, and then the cables run up underneath it to the
Yeah.
top, and they're just sitting there swaying. with every turn I'm making, they're like, "Why are your battery cables so long?" Well, that's the reason right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've done that as well. Just I've mounted them on the cage. Put them in the floor. Just a preference still, I guess. But no, it's just one of those things you learn.
Yeah, and with the way cages are most popular built today, because the cable shifters and everything, it has that middle bar. I like to keep it up just so I can reach those cables.
Right.
So I don't. I had it one time in Spearman. I was telling I think Gerardo that my battery jumped into my back seat, and I couldn't reach or grab nothing because I was just stuck there.
Right.
Um, it seems like you're always building or fixing different cars, like all the time. Uh, for different shows or for what have you. That's got to take a little bit of a toll on you, man.
Yeah, but honestly, this part of the phase of Derby for me is my favorite part. Of course, I love driving. I go into the shows and going through the heats and stuff. I mean, that's a great time. But for me personally, like getting to come in here into the shop, and a lot of times I'm in here by myself, and
Yeah.
I'm fabbing. I'm trying to think of new ways to get better, to move on to the next step. I mean, like I said, I always try to. I'm very competitive, so I always want to think of the next best thing to do, or improve what I've done, or
Yeah.
this is what I like to do. I'm always gone working and stuff, so when I come home, my wife's pretty lenient, and she's tolerable about me coming to the shop, and no, this is my favorite part actually is building.
Yeah. It's always nice too to have somebody like that in your corner that's like, yeah, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, well, she comes down here too. She'll come down here and she'll lend a hand. She'll run back up for me or hold things when I need help, and she's come a long way for sure.
Well, that's what I was actually gonna ask is how do you juggle, man, work? 'Cause you work down in Midland or Odessa, that area.
Yeah,
Had-
yeah. My office is in Midland, West Texas, and I'm gone Monday through Thursday, and then I'm only home, late Thursdays till Sundays.
Well,
And
I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be on the show, man.
yeah, no problem. I appreciate what you're trying to do for us and the community, and it's you guys need to do this stuff for us. I mean, I don't want to do it. I'm just glad you're doing it.
Man, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, and I like podcasts, and so I was like, hell, I should do that on Derby.
Yeah, I've listened to his a few times. He's pretty comical.
But what I was asking is, how do you juggle work and Derby and your home life? I mean, that's a hard thing that us Derby guys go through is being away from home that nobody really understands.
I'm big on time management.
Yeah.
Before I even come into this shop, I know exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm an overthinker, so
Yeah.
and when I come home, I know. I know when it's time for me and my wife to have our time, and then it's time to go to work. And
Soon as the street lamps come on, get your butt home.
yeah, sometimes it's that way. It is a struggle sometimes. Like what the hardest part for me this year was everything was getting canceled.
Yeah.
So then I had a lot more free time. So then it lacking motivation to come in here and build because you don't know. Promoter was putting out new rules, didn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Then we got the Blizzard Bash got canceled. Cap City Carnage got canceled. I signed up for Vegas. Vegas got canceled on us. One of the Utah shows I was signed up for got canceled.
Yeah.
So it's like I had like 4 different builds I was going to do, but every time it got canceled, I just put it off. And like my Blizzard Bash car, I rolled the frame
Yeah.
out back, and it's sitting there, and
He's got 4 different frames sitting out there.
just they're just waiting to. So and this is our local area is the next thing up that's closest that I'm gonna. Well, I say that I might go to this Utah show, but if it happens,
I signed up for that raffle too.
yeah,
I seen you on there.
yeah, I signed for that. But I'm thinking about putting a car together and going as well, so just in case. But
Yeah.
I've been talking to a lot of guys up in that area, and
That Derek Shelley, man, he can build a hell of a ride.
yeah, him and his team they're pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I've dealt with Derek for a couple years now, and just visited with him, and he's a good guy.
I've never gotten to meet him, but I'm hopefully going to get to go to the Blizzard Bash this year and get to meet all these people that I keep seeing on the Facebook.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, they're all very humble. They're all nice.
Yeah.
I've yet to find someone that's just been very standoffish that just don't want to talk to you or I mean, but you got to respect what they're doing, what their pits, and
Yeah.
you do that, they'll take you in.
You can't just walk up like Peyton taking pictures and videos and what y'all got going over here?
Old Redbeard.
So you got or you were building 4 different cars for 4 different shows in 1 year. How do you not get burnt out, man?
Oh, like I said, this is what I like to do.
Yeah.
Heck, last year I think I went 2019, 2020 year. Man, I think I had like 7 cars come out. I mean, because I had, raffle cars, for the Perryton show.
Yeah.
Then, like, I had Cap City Carnage car, Blizzard Bash show, our Perryton show. Then, when I went to Oakley, I'd junked that car, so I had to had to pull everything out, put it into another roller that I had. I mean, I did all that in a week, to go to another show.
Jeez.
And, like I said, it's good to have my wife to be very lenient on me and understanding.
We've had a mixture of answers on this question, but does your family play a role in your derby building, like in your derby life? Because like me, I got started because my grandpa, my family, we all make a big deal out of the derby and stuff. But we've had some guests on here that their family didn't really play a big role in their derby stuff.
No, man, like I said, my uncle and my dad, when I was younger, they'd always help their buddies in the pits. I know they never ran that I remember, but I know like they helped in the pits, and my uncle painted the cars and stuff, and that was cool. But growing up wise, like I said, when I moved to Oklahoma, we didn't derby, we didn't.
Yeah.
All I was into was sports and girls, So that's pretty much how I did. And when I came back, it just run into some old friends, and that's what got me into it.
Well, you have a few kids, right?
I do. I have 3 of my own, and then I have a stepson.
Do you hope that maybe one day you can kind of teach them, and hopefully they'll build too, or?
Well, if they're wanting to get involved, then I'll be more than happy. I'm not one that's going to push anything on them. I went to college, played football and stuff, so I was hoping my kids, want to play football, and my boys, and and they're into basketball and soccer. My stepson, he plays football here at the high school and stuff, and so, that's cool. But I'm, teach their own. That's kind of the way I am. And if they wanna come over and then learn and hang out with Dad, then come on, I'll put you to work.
Well, hopefully they'll be watching. Hear you say that. So friends and friends that become family, they're pretty important. Because
absolutely.
They're the ones always in your pit and helping you out. I always like to ask what everyone's favorite memories are in Derby. We've had Peyton. He talked about one of his favorites was that Oakley show, and Kyler Balzer had talked about helping me out in the pits last year, and his family going out and painting the car for him and stuff. So, what are some of your favorite memories that you've had over the years?
Man, honestly, my most favorite memory so far is Blizzard Bash of 2019 in the pits after the first heat. Well, no, not the first heat. It was after the B heat. Our team, the Outsiders, we won the B feature to advance to the finals. And, I'd burn up a transmission.
Yeah.
So we had to, first we had to pull the car down, get it straight, weld our plates on, then had to get it into the pits and into the tent, and we had to pull the tranny out and replace full tranny. Full bracing and everything.
Really?
Did that in the middle of the night, but it was me. It was Michael McElroy, Arden Zane Sr.
Oh, really?
And Peyton were there, and Lindsay was there as well, running tools back and doing stuff. And that night was the most tiring, exhausting, exciting, and funniest night that I think I've had in Derby.
Really?
Ever. We're all just plumb exhausted.
Yeah.
And but you got to get done because you have a timeline. You got to be back in the barn for inspection in the morning.
Yeah.
And just pure exhaustion. Might have been some alcohol involved, maybe a little bit, not a lot, but it was just a fun time. You just had to be there. That's probably my most funnest memory of Derby. And then I guess second, another at Cap City Carnage. 2000 and I think it was 2019 or 18. My first year to go to Carnage. We come out and some guys from Kansas help. Andrew Homer, have to pee up there. Heath Schulte and
I never knew his name, but I've seen the number, and it always makes me laugh.
for a long time that's how I recognized have to pee. But Heath was up there, and Ben Schultz was up there, and then of course Michael McElroy, he was there with me. Kyler Jordan was there. We're just that night, getting the car ready for the next day, pulling the car back down, welding our plates on. That was a fun night as well. Just that kind of environment. I mean, you're trying to get your car back into shape so you can get back into the finals, and that was fun.
When you get a bunch of buddies in there and y'all are cracking jokes, but you're still being serious about the job at hand, and y'all are all busting ass and doing working hard to get your car out there. That's one of the funnest, best feelings ever. I'd rather.
Yeah, it's like I said, those are the memories, man. When I see them pop up on Time Hop, or when I see was out yesterday looking at Capital City Carnage car was out there, and I was looking over some things on it to take off of it, and I just sit there for a minute. I just thought about that night. It's weird, I was just there yesterday thinking about it, and I was like, man, that was a fun night.
That's pretty cool. What makes you continue to derby after all this time?
Man,
just, grinding them out.
Well, it's a hobby. It's something for me. I mean, like I said, we live in Perryton, so
not much to do.
Not much to do here. So it's a hobby, and I'm super competitive, man. I got into something. I want to be really good at what I do. I feel like my work is successful. I want to be successful in a lot of things that I do in life, and this is one thing that I've not been successful like I want to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it until I'm there. And if I don't, then I'm going to have a whole lot of fun doing it.
Well, that leads us into my second question, or the next question. What are some of your biggest goals and accomplishments that you have in the sport?
Well, honestly, the biggest one is I've never won first place.
Really?
I've come in second a handful of times. And I guess it's not really a big thing because honestly, I've won a ton of Mad Dogs, and that's honestly fun for me. I love to put on a show. I want to be because my deal is I know growing up, I never remembered really who won the Derby.
But you know who laid the
I remember
biggest
the guy
hit.
that was putting on the show, and that's kind of my thing. I want to, I want people to go home and remember a couple years from now.
Yeah.
You remember that hit Tiny put on somebody?
Yeah.
That's kind of why I junk a lot of my cars, but I enjoy it. I have plenty of fleet. I can keep building.
Well, the sport's continuing to evolve, and the cars are getting bigger and badder every single year. People are figuring out new things to do, different things to do. Would you like to see it continue to evolve, or do you want to kind of see it stay flat right where we're at now, or would you even like to see it go in reverse maybe?
I think some shows, speak for themselves. Like to me, when you get on the biggest stage like Blizzard Bash, Capital City Carnage, or you go, Bash for Cash or them guys out north. I think those shows. I think you got to bring your best.
Yeah.
I think if for some of these smaller shows like these local shows where you got local drivers that they're just kind of getting into a couple month hobby deal. They don't want to dump thousands of dollars into a car. There's a place for kind of your hobby stocks or your lot welds. I'm fine with those staying kaput, because not everybody wants to get into it.
Yeah.
Like some of these other guys want to do. They don't want to compete at that level. They just want to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants to go spend $5 to $10 grand just to have fun for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I like Perryton's. It's kind of a good mixture. Our mod class is mod, but it's not up here. You know what I mean? And then we have the light wheeled class for people who just want to see something bend.
Oh, absolutely. I think, Chad Markley, he's our promoter here for Perryton. CDDA demo, and I think he does a really great job at keeping us calm down. Like actually yesterday, I talked to him yesterday because I was, seeing if I could, what he interpret his rules a certain way, and he, he said, no, this is how you're going to read them, and and that's good. I mean, because I wanted to push it, but he also put me back in my place. You're not going to do that because this show's not for that. And there's because there's another set of rules that says I can do certain things, but his is kind of, you just got how you read it, and
Yeah.
I got clarification, and I dialed it back. And in our light weld class, which now it's called the limited weld here for local practice, it's really not a heavy build at all.
Yeah.
You can do a little bit to keep your car from getting crazy out of control, but it's still, you can get it done in a month. I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit tougher than that, let me tell you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I understand that. But yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to spend all summer long building a car. You can go
Yeah.
if you have a couple buddies for that limited weld class.
And you really just wanting to make the show, you could definitely do it in a month or two, yeah.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I'm not the kind of guy that likes to just get out and grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. I like to kind of have a little bit of free time here and there,
Right.
like, oh, it's a Saturday night. Do I really want to spend all night working on my car, or do I want to take the old lady out on a date? You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to keep the women happy, They're the ones that let us come out here.
I agree 100%.
Gerardo was my last guest, and he had said that these smaller shows, like smaller Demolition Derby, is kind of starting to die out because all these promoters and fans and drivers are worried about these bigger shows like Blizzard Bash and stuff. Would you agree with that, or do you think that small town derby is here to stay for a while?
I feel like Perryton's going to be here to stay for quite a while. I mean, I'm on the board here for us locally where, I help put on the show here locally, and the things we're doing, I have no fear that Perryton
Yeah.
will die down anytime soon. Like this year we're actually bringing in Track Shot TV to come in.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, what is that?
Well,
For the people at home that don't know.
Well, it's these guys like Skinny, Tix. There's another guy out from Northeast. I just call him Yankee because he's from Northeast. I'll think of his name later. And then like Gumby, from Utah. They're going around. They're televised. Like Derby Tees does, and
Yeah.
they're going around. They'll televise on YouTube TV. They're promoting our community, our Derby community. And they, do interviews. They come out. They just put on a show and just broadcast what we do to get it out there to the world, and just try to keep like these local shows. Like that's mainly what they're focusing on is the bigger shows for like, let's just say Perryton is the biggest show in Texas.
Oh, really?
It is.
Okay.
They reached out a couple months ago to me. Gumby called me, and he was just heard about our show from other people and wanted to know if we'd be interested in bringing him down to Texas, because we get guys from Kansas, we get some guys from New Mexico, from Central Texas come over. With Track Shot coming this year, I hear we got guys from Colorado, Nebraska coming. I've had calls
Really?
from South Dakota. We got guys from Louisiana going to come up to this show, guys from Arkansas, trying to talk to a couple guys from Missouri to come out.
Chad might have to hop in a car himself.
Well, Chad will be promoting it. So a lot of them guys from up in Northeast Kansas are coming. I feel like, with Track Shot coming up, for one, a lot of guys want to just get on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? Who wants to go have fun and be around that environment and get their name out? And that's it's gonna be fun. With me, like I said, being a part of that, I'm doing a whole lot of different promotions for it. I'm trying to get in to get our prize money up,
Yeah.
do different awards. Like myself, like I put on the Tiny's Mad Dog Award, for both classes for I sponsor that personally.
Oh, really?
And
I was wondering why the Mad Dog had the Tiny's Old Iron
yeah, I mean,
stuff on them. I didn't know that
sponsor
you sponsored that.
Yeah, yeah.
That is cool.
It's kind of my thing. I mean, like I said, I like getting the Mad Dog, and so that's just my thing. I want to just something for somebody to go out and win something, and this year we did the put the balloon in the middle. You first one to hit it gets $50. Just
Yeah.
try to do something different, and just small things to get guys to coming in, get a little money, because you're not always. For years, I'd spend all this money in a car, and then I'd never win nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they only placed top four. I remember I placed for like the first 4 or 5 years. I only placed fourth one time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just
That gives me a little bit of hope.
yeah, I mean, still, it just you never know what's going to happen when you go into the arena.
Yeah.
So to me, that's why I started doing that. The trophies, doing that for the guys, and just something to keep guys coming back and having a reason to come. So, but to answer your question, I think like for us in this area, Blizzard Bash, Cap City, Carnage are spaced out enough.
Yeah.
Vegas is kind of around, so you got to pick and choose. If you want to go to Vegas or you want to go to Topeka, you know, different venues, different promoters. So you got to pick and choose.
It's the bigger shows kind of that are fighting for drivers and people to tune in and watch.
I feel like that's the main, because the bigger shows, they put them towards the beginning and ends of the year.
Yeah.
So like everybody knows, you know, your fair season, your small town celebration season is always usually from April,
and
May,
the summers,
you know, to August. You know, the summertime months.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there's not a lot of big shows during those months to take away from all of our local drivers.
Yeah.
Or, you know, even if you go out to Kentucky or Indiana or Ohio, wherever those guys are, they all hit their county fairs, you know.
Yeah. And you've been one of the people that I've talked to about trying to get a show started up where I live in Ulysses.
Yeah.
And you've actually been a lot of help, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Just as long as we can keep things going, give us something to do.
Yeah. I mean, because Oakley's 3-4 hours away from here?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's 3.5, 4 hours.
See, and my thinking on this was, well, I live 2 hours from those guys. You know, we could probably get some people up here that would want a derby, especially if I could get Chad as the promoter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, Chad has been kind of, there used to be another promoter in the area, and he's kind of phased out. Chad's came in, and his rules, you know, they're running his rules now in New Mexico. They're running his rules down by Abilene, Texas.
Yeah.
We run his rules here. You know, Oakley's running his rules, you know, so, and then of course the farther east you get into Kansas, you know, they're running his rules. So for us, I mean, you might drive, you know, you can drive up to 6-7 hours and you're going to be able to take your car to those shows.
Yeah. Without having to worry about getting loaded.
Without having to get loaded, without having to build a whole new car. I mean, it's the same rules, same promoter, and that's pretty nice. And, you know, we're pretty thankful for Chad for that.
Sorry if I keep interrupting you.
No, go ahead, man. That's what we're here for.
We talk a lot about how friends are super important to us in the derby world and stuff, but you would not believe the messages that I'm constantly getting sent in my DMs on Instagram, on Facebook. Everybody wants to know about rivalries and the bad blood between drivers. Are there rivalries between you guys? Are there bad blood between you guys? And to put it to rest, are there any rivalries in the derby world, Tiny? Or is there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, there are. But I think that for me, it's only in the arena.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we get outside, and I mean, if you're really not in my circle, I'm not going to go out of my way. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm very opinionated, and I'll be respectful.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's rivalries, there is, and you know, but we handle it inside the arena, and if I get it handed to me, then I'll take my licking and go to the pit, and I'll figure out how to get you next. But
yeah,
it happens, and sometimes, I mean, I've had a rivalry, you know, for a while, and then it was crazy last year in the arena. We just kind of got side by side each other, and we had a mutual agreement on someone else, and well, we even teamed up and took care of business, and then
there you go.
Went on down at the other end and played again. So.
Do you think rivalries help our sport any? Like, do you think it puts butts in seats? Oh, I saw those guys arguing on Facebook. I want to see what they're going to do out here in the arena.
Oh, absolutely. I think it does. I think it gives people something to go and anticipate, you know, something going on. I mean,
yeah.
You get in a car that, you know, you're able to just watch it crash into each other. I mean, you know, hey, those two guys are about to go after each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on.
It's always fun, too, because I know a little bit about the rivalries behind the scenes and stuff. I'm not going to say anything or say who and everything, but it's always fun. Even if you're working on your car, you're still kind of peeking over the fence to see what's going on while their heat's going on, if they're in the same heat. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, oh, they getting after it over there? You know what I mean? Gerardo talked some about a few years ago that the Spearman and Perryton guys were a big rival. That
yeah.
I was just a kid then. I kind of knew who all was involved in it and such, but man, what was that like? Because that was kind of like a team show, you know what I mean?
It was, and I remember that the first year that was the big thing, you know, Spearman versus Perryton. Actually, that year that was the year I was driving that Vic.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the first heat we drew. There was 7 cars in that heat, And I remember coming down to the end, and I remember me and another guy from Perryton were in it, and then all the other drivers were from Spearman. And I wish I could find the picture. I remember somebody had the picture, but it was funny. You could see us two pull out, so that's just us two, and then you got these other 5 cars sitting there, and we're all pointed 5 against 2. And I remember seeing that picture, and I don't remember when. I should have screenshot it, but of course didn't. But that I remember looking at, a buddy from Perryton when that happened. We just looked at each other and was like, well, pick one, let's go. And that was fun. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, like I remember that made it to the finals that night, and first and last time I ever ran 14-inch tires. I go to back out. I was worried about them guys, and I backed up to the berm and hung my bumper up on the berm and couldn't get my little old tires I had. I was stuck, and they just teed off on me and laid my A-arm over and laid my tire over, and that was it. I didn't even make one hit.
What? You made the finals though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just one of those things. But that's part of Derby, and it just you're focused on something else, and you should have been just paying attention to yourself.
Yeah. But still, though, man, as a kid in the stands, kind of knowing a little bit what was going on, and I was just like, man, this is so cool, because the cars, that was kind of when y'all started building, like, insane cars.
Yeah.
And so the cars were bad, the drivers had bad attitudes towards each other, and you just knew you were in for a good show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, those were good times. Well, oilfield was real good then. It was about $90 a barrel, so we all had money to spend, and we were building. For us, what we thought at the time, they were pretty gnarly mod cars, and with that promoter, you could pretty much, you just put it on the car, and well, you might have to cut it, and you might not, but no, those were fun times, some hard hitting times. I know that's for sure. That's what got me into mods.
Yeah.
Because my first couple builds were with that '77 New Yorker. They were what we called weekend warrior class back then. Just kind of just gut everything. I ran the factory 440 in it, factory transmission, so. No, that was a fun time.
Well, moving on from that.
Yeah.
Most everyone I've had on the show has all agreed they'd love to see Turkey Bash come back. You've ran Turkey Bash a few times. Mm-hmm. Would you like to see it make a return to Texas, or?
Well, yeah, I would. Different promoter. I would, honestly, just, because all the way we build our cars now, I don't really want to go and have to build for, if I'm going to build for, Utah or Vegas or Cal City Carnage or Blizzard Bash, and that's another thing. Blizzard Bash is, for me, it's right there at, that'd be the same time Turkey Bash would be going on in November, so.
Yeah.
But, we were talking about trying to get the venue there in Amarillo the first of the year when all the COVID stuff was going on. Texas was opening back up. I was actually talking to Gumby and stuff in Utah, and when Vegas canceled, we were trying to get that Vegas show moved to Amarillo.
Oh, really?
Trying to get the inside, but then, of course, Amarillo kind of locked it down, and so we didn't able to make that happen this year. But, no, we would like to. I mean, because it's warmer down here, of course, you're during the wintertime. But, no, it would be cool. I mean, I think for me personally, it would have to be maybe in a different time of year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm part of a team for Blizzard Bash, and I go to Capital City Carnage, so it's kind of my time's kind of obligated for those shows, and I'm dedicated my time for those. So,
would you agree with Jeremy Rowland, who we had on our first episode, that Turkey Bash was kind of a good meeting point? It was close enough that the guys down south or New Mexico or, like those guys down in Abilene or whatever, they weren't having to drive 5 hours or 6 hours to Perryton and then another 5 to 6 hours to Topeka if they wanted to go run a big show like that. Would you agree with that? That it's just a good spot to have a derby in general?
I think these southern states, yes. Like maybe some of your Colorado guys, your New Mexico, Central Texas, some of the guys from Louisiana. It's really not that far, honestly, if you get on the interstate. For those guys, yes. From our, some guys from Nebraska used to come down, but when you want to get some of them bigger guys from out east, or even from like the Utah area, or or Wyoming, you're not going to get them because that's a long haul, and and that show wasn't near big enough, didn't have near the prize money to entice those guys to come.
Yeah,
So
I get that. Uh, you've ran bigger shows like Blizzard Bash and Capital Carnage, like we've kind of talked about here. What is a show like that compared to, like, say, Perryton, like a smaller town? Like, obviously, it's a bigger show and stuff, but
no, it's night and day difference. Night and day.
what do you mean?
Just the environment's different. The expectations. Um, I feel like here, like if I take a car here that I build and I go to this local show or somewhere around here, I know my car is probably going to be one of the top-notch builds around. I'm going to have a good motor. I'm going to have a good drivetrain, everything. First time I went to the big shows, I felt like I'd missed so much in the rules because I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to things that I've never even heard about doing, or got to go up and guys would talk to me and just, hey, you might have should have done this a little different, done this a little different. And then you think about it, you're like, he's right. I probably should have done that a little
That
different.
makes sense.
So to me, just the knowledge from going to one of those bigger shows, because here in Perryton, in this area, you might get a derby 2 or 3 times a year if you stay local.
Yeah.
Them guys that run them big shows, they'll run 8, 10, 15 shows a year, and they'll go to all them county fairs because they do it all the time, and their knowledge to me is unprecedented. I've definitely talked to several of them to just learn, and like when you go to those bigger shows, I've met some of those, like JWC, I've met them, and the Caddy Nation guys, I've got to go over and visit with them and just pick their brain. Of course, Team Kansas, and just learn. I mean, that's my big thing, just watch and learn.
Yeah.
You don't always got to talk, just sit back and observe and just take in what you're seeing. And that's helped me, I think, tremendously, honestly. And, some of my friends that I build with here and visit with. But night and day difference to me going from one of them big shows, just the environment. Competition level is unreal.
Yeah.
So that's what's fun. I mean, and you'll have your average Joe guys, just that they get in, they get their name in there, and they build a car, and they're just like the rest of us hadn't done it a whole lot, and you meet those guys as well there, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing for them. And I've built some pretty good relationships from just doing that. So,
That's pretty cool how Derby can bring people on opposite ends of the country, and make them friends. You know what I mean?
oh, absolutely.
That's cool. What's it like to run one of those shows, man? Because like you said, it's a night and day difference compared to here. So
It's intense. You definitely have to. When I first went up there for Cap City Carnage, it was I'll be honest, I was borderline hyperventilating. I felt like when I was pulling into that big arena, and, it was. I mean, I've played.
well, my GoPro just died.
Uh-oh.
No, it's fine. We'll just
Keep going.
yeah, we can keep going.
Sounds good. I mean, you pull into that arena, it's intense, man. I mean, like I've played in some big stadiums in football and stuff in college, and it's nothing like that at all. Just you're about to go wreck a car against some guys that just want to hurt your car.
Yeah.
They don't want to hurt you. They just want to take your car out, and so it's pretty intense. And then I've had to change my driving style. This last time we went with Blizzard Bash with our team, can't just go out and put on a show. I mean, because there's so much money's at stake.
Yeah.
All your other guys, your teammates are counting on you to do well, to make it with them, so you can get to the finals, or when you get to the finals, keep going. So like this last time, I didn't get to go out and just put it to the floor and put on a show like I normally would in these local shows.
Yeah.
Like that B feature. We went out there and we won it, took it all the way down to the end. We won it to advance to the finals. And trying to be light on the pedal was hard for me. But, we made it done, got it done, we made it. But it's intense for sure.
We've talked about a couple times on the show with a few people that would you like to see a group of guys get together from Texas and go up there and try to put on a show, man? Like, I had Roland, he said that he'd take a handful of guys. Peyton said that he'd include you on his team if he could. He said it would be you, him, Skinny, which Skinny's not from Texas, but
Yeah.
and then he said it'd be a tie between John and Michael, man. Would you like to be a part of a team or see a group of guys go up there from here? And
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that'd be fun. I absolutely. I mean, if I wasn't already on a team and and I need to put a new team together,
Yeah.
oh, most definitely. I know some guys that I would want to talk to about it and go see if we can take some money.
Yeah. Being a Perryton guy, but still trying to be friends with everybody. Jeremy had his group of people. I know you got your group of people, but I'd honestly like to see a mixture of both Spearman and Perryton guys in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I just think because take a little bit of the best of both worlds from this area, and I think y'all'd have a hell of a team.
Oh yeah, well, like last year at Oakley, me and Blake Burgess, he's from Spearman. We pitted right next to each other, and we helped put our cars back together. I let him, he ran my skids, in the second night. We bounced things off, helped build each other's, cars, put them back together, and I mean that was fun. We had a good time. I have no problem with that. Yeah, Gerardo is a great builder on a Vic. He has great powertrain.
Yeah.
He's won a lot of shows. I mean, he's a smart driver. I would have no problem having him on my side.
Which, I don't know if you had made it through all the way last episode, but Gerardo's going to be running Blizzard Bash this year.
Is he?
Yeah, he said he has a few friends or something, and they gave him a call, and he said he thinks he's going to get a run it finally.
Yeah, I think he's on the mod team. I think, or
Really?
qualifying mod team. I talked to some guys, and they'd called me on it, and they'd asked me about Gerardo, and I just basically what I just said to you. I mean, he has a good powertrain. He's smart with Vicks, and he's very mechanical. So he's a good driver. So I don't know. I totally encourage them to give him a call.
Well, that going back to me being a Panhandle kid, man, that's awesome to see two guys from the area being up there, representing us, I'd like to see more guys from the area go up there. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of dudes around here that could hang with them. You know what I mean?
It's a fun time. I've encouraged people. I've told everybody that's ever asked. I think to me, those are probably some of the best shows. They are the best. That's why I started traveling there. Just getting out and getting around and going to different places and seeing different people and learning new things. It's fun.
Well, man, I like to kind of ask this towards the end of the interview, just in case you're pretty well known around here, but say you go run Oakley or something and somebody's like, man, I like that car. I wonder who's in that car. And in the video, I kind of include pictures of people's cars and stuff. So just in case these people see you and they want to go watch you run somewhere else, or, what are your future plans, man? What do you got going on this year? Shows, cars?
Yeah, well, currently I'm building for a two-man team show for Oakley, Kansas in July with Malcolm McElroy. We're going to take a team up there, and we're going to run. That's the show I'm planning on going to first this year. Been talking like Derek Shelley and my buddy Derek Court. We might go up to Utah and run.
Yeah.
I think it's in April, end of April, May, something like that. We were talking about it the other day. So
that one with the
raffle, it's a whole different show.
I was say I've been watching that raffle like a hawk, man. I think that one's in August.
Yeah, that one's 2 weeks before our home show here, and that'd be cool. But no, this show is first part of the summer. It'd be fun to go up there and run that with Derek out of New Mexico.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got our local show here at Perryton. It's in the end of August. Gonna plan on being there. Like I said, I've got a raffle car, putting it together to go. Of course, I'll have a mod car there, and my buddies, we'll all have cars there.
Yeah.
Just do our local fair. And then, of course, honestly, the next step is Blizzard Bash. Hope to God, fingers crossed, that we still have it in 2021. I've already got my frame's already ready. I was building for this year, and they pulled the plug on it, so I just rolled the frame out and started on the next one.
Well, being in Kansas, I know our governor up there, they're kind of, they're not as cool as the governor in Texas. They're not too keen on opening up very quick.
True.
But I sure hope that they have it, man, because this will be the first year that I get to go watch. I've made really good friends with the Crazy Iowans and Lane Frericks and those guys up there, and so I'll be up there helping them. If y'all, I can't provide a whole lot, but if y'all need help, man, I'll swing by and help out.
Oh, yeah. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll definitely. Hopefully we do have it. Hopefully things lighten up towards November and they go ahead and give it. I know a lot of people have been having withdrawals. I've been seeing a whole bunch of memory posting on Facebook. Wish I was here. Because Cap City Carnage was supposed to have been just last week.
Oh, really?
Well, that's usually when it happens. First you're getting ready to have it, or what is it? Yeah. So that was a deal hit. I got a bunch of memories popped up on my phone about going, and yeah, it's been pretty crappy actually. Just it's been doing a whole lot of partying, hanging out, and traveling with the wife this winter because canceling all the shows. But
She probably has no problem with that.
no, I'm sure she surely enjoyed it. Now I'm in the shop getting pretty much here every weekend now, and she knows what time it is, so she's okay.
Um, Before I let you go, man, you got to tell us some of this crap going on Facebook with Teddy Papadopoulos, man. What is all that about?
Oh, Teddy Pop, man, it's just him and I. We're buddies. I mean,
I was gonna say,
I feel like we are. We talk quite a bit off of Facebook.
Yeah.
Through text message. We just give each other a hard time. We went. Of course, Caddy Nation. I mean, for our limited well class, our heats, they've won several times, and they're known worldwide. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, Teddy's known as the Mad Dog. Mad Dog Teddy. So, me being me and want to put on a show. Of course, I've joked about taking his crown and stuff. We joke back and forth all the time. And then last year, or at Blizzard Bash 2020, or was it 2019? We drew them in the first heat.
Oh, man.
And, they got the best of us, and I made a mistake and kind of got up on the berm sideways, and him and Trey teed off on me, and, it just fueled from there,
Yeah.
Them are good guys. I mean, I went up last year for Cap City Carnage. I didn't take a car last year because I'd promised Chad, our promoter, and some guys that I'd go up to Oakley, so I was building a fresh car for that, and so I just went up there. I mean, I camped out, and heck, I cooked breakfast and lunch, on the disc, give some.
Guess I'm going to your pit for Blizzard Bash, man.
Well, this Blizzard Bash's wife will be cooking this year. I mean, she's a good cook, but no, I mean, we have a good time, man. We just hang out, we talk. We give each other crap all the time. Eddie Chick up there, the old legend. He likes to put fuel on the fire, But Rob's a great guy. I've talked to Rob a few times, and he's always been very helpful, very nice. Teddy's the same way. We go back and forth. Teddy just built a shop. I just built this shop, and we kick some ideas back and forth on things we've done or what we want to do. Just like floor anchors and stuff. And
Yeah.
no, I mean I've had several people. Hey, what's going on? Y'all really fighting? No, man. It's derby, man. We're just talking crap, and like I said, man, it's the camaraderie that we have. It's a good group of people that.
Yeah.
When you go places, you don't really have those beasts. I mean, yeah, you might have your rivalries, because they're the top dog.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to take them out, when we went, for last year, Blizzard Bash, the Outsiders, we finished fourth and they won it. They won first. It's well, we don't want to be fourth. We want to be first.
Yeah. Everybody wants that first spot.
That's right. I mean, when you're at the top of the hill, everybody's coming up to pull you down. And,
Yeah.
But no, they're great guys, and I mean, heck, like Eddie Chick runs those guys. When I was at KFC Carnage, I needed a fan shroud or a protector because I took a plate on my car. I thought I could run a different radiator protector, and he went over and heck, they gave me tools to take that off and put it on my car. I mean, they helped me out. I've gone over and just visited, and they're good guys, man. But no, Teddy talks crap, but he knows I'm coming for him.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see it. And then you see Skinny on there. He's always stirring the pot.
No, don't give me Skinny, no barbecue cooking ass.
Oh, man, he loves those rainbow emojis. Makes me wonder about him sometimes.
I think Skinny swings both ways, man. He scares me. I stay away from him. He wants me to rub his beard for some reason. I don't know.
I got to be careful. I haven't even met Skinny. I'll meet him the first time and be like, weren't you that guy?
Skinny's a great guy, man. He'll give you the shirt off his back. I've known Skinny for several years. Back in the day, before I knew any better, I sold him some cars. I was going to get out of Derby, and I had a bunch. Well, I say a bunch. I had like 4 or 5 73 and 4 Buicks and stuff, and I just sold them to him and put money elsewhere, and I was doing hot rods and stuff back then. So.
And then you find out he's a scrap guy, and you're sitting there punching yourself in the leg.
Yeah, I wish I had those cars back, but I've got plenty now. But no, Skinny's a great guy. I've been to his house. I've told cars to him, and heck, he's came to town, and No, man, we give each other crap all the time, man. Skinny's a great guy.
Well, man, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks to everyone who tuned in to listen or watch. You can find us on YouTube at Derby Dallas 12X, or you can listen in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music at the Driver's Seat Podcast. Till next time.